Last time on Out Chasing Stars, we had an absolute blast exploring the island of Bali. Our friends on Catalpa took us to do our first wreck dive on the USS Liberty in Ahmed Bay, and then we moved over to Lovina. From there, we spent a full day driving around, seeing the sights. Once we'd had our fun playing tourist, we upped anchor and set off to go sailing again. On the move again, huh, babe?
Vroom vroom. Slowly but surely right now, because there is no wind.
Yeah, it's pretty flat calm in front of us.
Yes, but we're on the north side of the island of Bali, so it's to be expected. Hopefully, as we get further out, we'll get some wind to sail.
So where are we headed?
We are headed to Kumai is the town, and Kalimantan is the region, I suppose, in Indonesia, but it's on the island of Borneo. And our plan is to go do an orangutan tour. There's a orangutan sanctuary in Borneo, and we will be living on a houseboat for 2 nights and seeing orangutans and proboscis monkeys in the wild.
That sounds pretty cool. How long is it going to take to get there?
Yeah, we're looking at 3 nights to get to Kumai.
400 miles.
400 miles, yeah. So, a little bit longer than we've done lately. I don't think we've done 3 nights in a while, so.
Not since our way to Indo.
Yeah, not since we left Thursday Island, so. Yeah.
Well, let's hope for some wind and we can go sailing.
I would like the wind to fill in. Yes, that would be good.
It did indeed take a while to get out of the lee of Bali, but we had plenty to keep us busy as there were fads everywhere. That doesn't make for an enjoyable day, so when the wind filled in, I was quite happy. Yay, we finally have some wind! It's about, 7-ish knots, so it's not a whole lot. We're still motor sailing, but sailing's part of that word, so that makes me pretty excited. Just the general out at the moment, kind of waiting to see exactly what the wind is going to continue to do. It's supposed to continue shifting around kind of behind us, so I'm thinking it's going to be a screecher or spinnaker sort of run. But we'll keep going for now and just enjoy having a sail out. Alright, the wind has picked up enough that I'm going to try to get the main up. Amy's downstairs sleeping, so I'm going to do this single-handed, which is definitely possible to do. It's not nearly as easy, so we'll see how long this takes. First step, gotta get the general in so I can get upwind. Sails are all set up. Get the second engine on, get into the wind, and we'll raise the mainsail. So we still got a reef left in the main from the last time we had it raised, so I'm gonna go take that out, and then we'll finish raising it up. Well, it looks like I woke Amy up, but got the sail up. We're ready to turn off and go sailing now. This is a little more like it. With the screecher out and the main up, we were boogieing and moving there for a little bit, over 7 knots. The wind's kind of dying down just a touch right now, so we're back between 5 and 6, but we have to be averaging between roughly 5 and 5.8 to arrive into Kumai on Friday. So, you know, if we sail a little bit faster right now, that's totally fine. I'm happy to slow down later, especially because I think around middle of the night tonight, we're gonna have to turn much more downwind, and that'll just be a bit slower, so we'll enjoy going fast for the time being. So that's pretty cool. That looks like it's a tanker, either offloading or onloading some sort of fuel. Kind of out here in the middle of the ocean. Whatever works. Good morning, everyone. Last night was kind of a busy night, actually. We had quite a bit of traffic out between both fishing boats and also big old container cargo ships, stuff like that. Spent quite a bit of time dodging all of them, and actually on the horizon right now we've got a tug towing, which is not something we've seen too often out here. And let's see, the wind cooperated, you know, for the most part last night. Amy, for her whole shift, did main and screecher. Went and had to sail pretty deep with that. When I came on watch, we had to swap to wing on wing to really get the angle we wanted. The winds have been pretty light, so we've only got about 11-12 knots true wind speed. So we're going slow, but that's why we've got 3 nights planned for this passage. The wind has kind of done just some random shifts though, like it just shifted 40 degrees for no apparent reason at about 6 a.m., but it's kind of slowly worked its way back, so we're just riding the wind shift, and yeah, that's about all we got so far. So it looks like it hopefully should be another nice day. Well, it's already getting hot, so I imagine it's going to be another scorcher. The conditions made for easy sailing, but unfortunately you have to worry about a lot more than just the conditions while sailing in Indonesian waters. Hey you, that was kind of exciting. What just happened?
Miles and miles of ocean, and they come in within a quarter mile of us.
Yeah, a fishing boat of some sort, huh?
Yeah, so there were 2 fishing boats, and they were probably half a mile from each other, and we were gonna go through them, and I thought, I'm gonna turn us off. So I did, and then one changed course and passed within a quarter mile of us. I don't know. It made me nervous.
I don't blame you. It's just kind of a little weird when they come that close to you.
Yeah. Fortunately, they passed without incident, so.
Well done navigating then, babe. I am taking my watch inside the salon today because with the wing on wing, you cannot see forward, and there's so many of these small little fishing boats and everything. I want to be able to keep an eye on things. So I have been trying to work on a video today, and every time I get started on something, there's another boat or obstacle or something I need to keep an eye out for. So I think On my watch that I've been on so far, which is about for 3 hours, we have passed 10 fishing boats within a mile. We've had a tug and a tow, a warship, and a cargo ship all pass within at least a couple miles of us. So it almost kind of feels like I'm back on a Houston freeway out here. This is more traffic than we've had in forever, and kind of missing the open ocean right about now. The sun is setting. It was a bit of a quiet day, at least in terms of sail changes. We were wing on wing all day long, except for the few times when we had to roll in the Genoa and point further upwind to dodge fishing boats that were coming right at us, which segues to it was not a quiet day with other boats around. I'm feeling pretty conservative estimating that we've had probably about 100 fishing boats that have shown up on radar throughout the whole day. Probably about 15 to 20 boats in total between fishing boats, cargo ships, tugboats. I think even a warship came by, passed within about 2 miles of us. So that is a lot of traffic. I'm kind of apprehensive it's going to be the same way here at night. We'll see how it works. Last night, at least most of the fishing boats were lit up, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that's going to be the same thing tonight. At this point in our circumnavigation, we feel fairly confident in our ability to handle a wide range of conditions and events. So it's the other boats we worry about, and when they're acting erratically, it can be incredibly stressful. Today has been another relatively easy day sail-wise. We have gone away from wing on wing. We are now using just a screecher only. The wind had shifted quite a bit, so we were pointing a little bit too far west of our waypoint. So we're going slow, but slow is okay. There was something else I wanted to say, and I've been debating about whether or not to say this, but I do feel it's important to really, I want to share that not everything's sunshine and rainbows. This passage just kind of sucks. Like, I do not really enjoy this type of passage. So when we left from Bali, we were dodging the fads for the first day. At night, you just have no idea if they're there or not. We passed one within about 30 feet off our starboard side and had no idea at night it was there until I heard the fish flopping as we were going by. And then ever since that point, we have just been inundated with fishing ships, and they are everywhere, and it is really, really hard to figure out what they're doing. Right now, as I'm looking out, we've got one that's about a mile off of our starboard side. His bow is pointing right at us. It looks like he's coming straight at us. When I get the binoculars out, I can see lines in the water trailing behind him. He's not moving very fast, so it's really tough for me to tell, are those nets? Is he got like a sea anchor out and he's just stern to the wind? So I don't really know what he's doing, and it's been like that for 2 days, and we've got another one to go. So this is just not a whole lot of fun. And going slow always just kind of sucks as well. But I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that we've got hopefully less than 24 hours to get into Kamai, and I'm just kind of hoping everything stays okay till then, and then we'll just deal one passage at a time. But I'm going to look forward to being out in the open ocean. I think that's fairly safe to say. Sunset itself wasn't all that spectacular since it's been very gray and rainy today. We are getting some nice colors at least. Hoping for one last uneventful night. And you can see some lights off there in the distance. Still got fishing boats around. It has been a pretty uneventful night so far, which is what I was hoping for. Biggest thing was we did have a tug that was kind of coming right at us. Had to divert course a little bit to get around him. It was a touch bit tricky trying to figure out the lights, especially when the barge is all just lit up every which way, but we were able to figure it out and get around them. The wind has died. True wind speed now of 4 knots, so we've got the motor on. It's kind of what we were expecting. I was hoping the wind might last a couple more hours, but it is what it is. So we will likely just kind of motor on in the rest of the way, and yeah, still on target to make it tomorrow. So looking forward to that sunrise in about an hour. It's not exactly a great one, but for those of you who are regular watchers, you know it's tradition. So last sunrise at sea time, kind of gray and overcast, but that's all right. The rest of the night ended up pretty good actually, so not a whole lot of ships came too close to us other than that tug. We are now in some very flat water approaching land. It's actually about 12 miles off that way, so Gray can't see it. And we're in some very flat water, so no real fishing boats. It's only 40 feet, so I think most of the fishing boats are off in deeper water. And so far, fingers crossed, no fads that I've seen this morning, so that's kind of exciting. And yeah, we're just kind of like prepping for the last little bit of this. We are headed up a river in Kumai, and we're going to be going on an orangutan tour, so it'll be like kind of actually a live-aboard boat. So we're trying to prep Starry Horizons to leave for a couple days, and part of that is making water right now. I don't want to make water while we're up the river, just a little worried about quality, shall we say. So we're going to go ahead and get that done. We'll hopefully just have full tanks, and it'll get us through while we're up the river, and then when we leave we can make water again. So yeah, that's the plan for the morning. Man, if I thought sunrise was kind of gray and nasty this morning, I can't even tell where like the water ends and the sky begins. It's very gray and overcast out here, and it's not even raining. It's not rain, nothing's on radar, it's just that gray. I officially stand corrected. It's actually some rain over there. First time we've seen rain in a long time. I would not mind if it came over and hit Starry Horizons, because she is in desperate need of a bath. One of these days, I'll finally learn not to tempt Mother Nature. On the plus side, the rain did allow for some much needed chore time.
It's raining for the first time in, I don't know, a long time, probably months. And we haven't watched the boat since Lombok, so David is scrubbing away, taking advantage of some rain. Some clean, fresh, free water. Yay!
Making our way up the last little stretch of river, and this is just another perfect example of why you should always be keeping a good lookout and use several different sources, at least for navigation. Our navionics charts showing us driving through land right now, which is a pretty impressive feat for Starry Horizons. Oh god! Oh, that was a big bug! Oh my god, do you see him up there? That dude is huge!
You want to step out? I'll see if I can kind of like knock it towards. Come on.
Yeah, don't piss him off! Did you get rid of the bee?
I did, and I didn't even kill him because we need bees.
Yeah, although I saw him circling back there, he might be trying to come back. I think you were too friendly.
He was like this big.
Giant freaking bee, wasn't it?
Probably the biggest bee I've ever seen.
That was a good reason. I was scared. Like, the dude looked like a meteorite shooting at my head.
He was gonna eat you.
Ah!
I protected you from man-eating bees.
You're the best, babe.
I know.
So now that bee-apocalypse is over, we can get back to what I was talking about earlier. We are navigating up the river, the final stretch here into Kumai, and our charts are not so good. We are quite clearly in the middle of the river. We've got plenty of water underneath us. We've got satellite images here that are showing us exactly where we need to be, and our radar is showing us clearly in the middle of the river as well. So, you know, it's just kind of it's always important to keep a close eye out on things and just kind of recognize that the charts have that disclaimer for a reason. You know, you always have to keep a good watch no matter where you are. As we got further and further up the river, it became just more and more industrial, and I was very glad we'd gotten our water making done early. This certainly wouldn't be our most beautiful anchorage ever, but we were so excited about getting out and seeing orangutans in the wild.
Hey y'all! Thanks for watching our video about sailing to Kumai. As you can tell, sailing in Indonesia, not our favorite, but it was completely worth it to get over to Kumai and do our orangutan tour, which is our next video. See you guys next week.